The outlook for overpriced pizza has never been better. Who's gonna stop us?
Big marketing budgets and even bigger pizzas. Here's 10 secrets about the giant pizza war of the 90s. Domino's 30-minute guarantee.
34 minutes. 4 minutes late. Pizza's free.
There was a time when you didn't have to wonder when your pizza would arrive. If you placed an order with Domino's in the early 90s, your order would come with a guarantee. Your pizza would be delivered in 30 minutes or less, or it was free. This was a win-win for both the pizza conglomerate and the customer. More brand awareness meant more pizzas being ordered, and that meant that customers everywhere were getting first-hand experience with the 30 minutes or less guarantee. For a time, things were great. Domino's had carved out a section of the industry and were the reigning delivery champs until December of 1993. That's when a delivery driver was dispatched from a store in St. Louis and, in an attempt to honor the 30-minute or less guarantee, ran a red light and smashed into another car, injuring the woman inside.
That's not good.
Domino's was forced to cough up $78 million in damages to the woman, and consequently, they realized that the 30-minute guarantee was not exactly sustainable anymore. How much pizza can $78 million buy? Enough to make an industry titan change their workplace protocol. Sadly, we've yet to see the return of Domino's ill-fated guarantee. Something tells us that it'll be a long time before the subject comes up in the Domino's boardroom. 3 chains ruled the pizza industry.
Rising fast, you might have wanted to move up the ladder.
Of one foodie weirdo's personal pizza email blast?
Yeah.
In the year 1993, there were many fledgling pizza chains and giants alike that thrived in the nation. But it turns out that what consumers like, they really like. Domino's, Little Caesars, and Pizza Hut. These 3 chains accounted for 48% of the pizza industry at this time. This meant that among these 3 pizza places, half of America chose them as their go-to pizza spot. Empires rise and fall at a moment's notice, but at this time, if you were ordering pizza, chances are it was from one of these 3 chains. Each chain had its own claim to fame. For Domino's, it was delivery. For Pizza Hut, dine-in locations were thriving and new and improved menu items were coming out all the time. Little Caesars was content with being the emperor of sales, boasting record-breaking finances and being declared as one of the nation's fastest-growing chains. This uneasy alliance would not hold, however, as in the coming years, each would attempt to make their mark on the culinary space and edge out the rest of the competition. Some would succeed, while others would fall flat on their face.
When we lose big.
This doesn't change the fact that at one time, this pizza triumvirate ruled over the nation's cravings. Little Caesars was the pizza of value.
Price is one thing, taste is another.
Little Caesars was able to offer their customers the most bang for their buck with their in-house pies and lack of delivery option. This led to them offering their pizza at outrageous prices, so much so that consumers were taking notice. For less than $10, you could dine on 2 one-topping pizzas from Little Caesars, which were packaged in the bundle that denotes the company's famous slogan,
"Pizza, pizza."
It would be 5 long years before a considerable price change was made. Why wait for delivery just to pay an extra cost when you could simply order the cheapest pizza in town and go grab it yourself? Little Caesars thrived under this banner. They weren't content just to be the master of sales. They wanted more, and their pizza deals would provoke all-out warfare in the pizza space and cause many of their competitors to rethink the idea that Little Caesars was content to just stay in their lane. Even to this day, the pizza chain is committed to giving customers the most value for their money. In 2022, you can still pick up a hot and ready pizza at Little Caesars for just over $5. Little Caesars Spaghetti Bucket.
Spaghetti Angel! I'm making a spaghetti angel!
For those who are curious, let us relieve some of that tension right now. Little Caesar's spaghetti bucket was exactly what it sounded like. Yes, that's right. For just under $9, you and your family can enjoy an entire tub of noodles and sauce from the pizza chain. Little is known about this culinary invention. In many circles, it's passed into a sort of mythdom, like some pizza folklore of years past. The few people that can recall tasting it say it was somewhat underwhelming. Although, to be fair, what exactly were you expecting from a gigantic plastic tub of spaghetti? Let's just say that traditional Italian is not exactly what made Little Caesars famous. The marketing campaign designed for this menu item was nothing short of extravagant. In recent years, Little Caesars has remained content to remain in their wheelhouse, but there was a time in the early 90s when they reached for the stars. Not only did they roll out increasingly crazy deals like the spaghetti bucket, but they also took direct jabs at their opposition. It wasn't uncommon for Little Caesars to come out swinging in their commercials and call out their competitors by name, mentioning Domino's and others directly in their ads. The pizza war of the 90s was on, but Little Caesars had one more secret to roll out. Little Caesars Big Cheese.
You're a big cheese?
In an attempt to deliver a fatal blow to their competitors, Little Caesars was ready to deploy the biggest weapon in their arsenal. The chain was desperately searching for a way to get ahead of Pizza Hut and Domino's, so they decided the only way to compete would be to offer a massive pizza without the massive price. Little Caesars decided to launch the Big Cheese. It was two massive Detroit-style pizzas that dwarfed their previous counterparts. For only $8.88, you can enjoy this famous deal, and as a result, Little Caesars sales rose over 50%.
That's your entire profit margin.
They had delivered a blow to the opposition, but could it be enough to win over the hearts of the nation's pizza consumers? In the value department, it was a done deal. No one in town could beat the price. While Little Caesars basked in the glory of their success, the other pizza giants in town were plotting. It wouldn't be long before Little Caesars would bring down new competition on their head. Pizza Hut responds with the Bigfoot.
Remember the Pizza Hut Bigfoot pizza from the 90s?
If Little Caesars thought that the other pizza companies would just lie down and take it, they had another thing coming. Shortly after the Big Cheese was released, Pizza Hut would answer with the Bigfoot. If people thought that Little Caesars had upped the ante, then the Bigfoot was set to surprise. This pizza was a foot thick and 2 feet long and only cost $11. It was a deep dish-style pie that consisted of over 20 slices and came in its own specially designed box. If Big Pizza was now the name of the game, then Pizza Hut was here to play.
A worthy competitor emerges.
They sunk millions of dollars into the advertising budget, taking out ads in newspapers, magazines, on billboards, TV spots, radio, and so on. Pizza Hut was here to stay, and they had declared as much with the Bigfoot. Sales for Pizza Hut soared in record numbers across 9,000 locations, and it was clear that people were seeing what Pizza Hut was laying down. Little Caesars appeared to be beat at their own game, and many consumers flocked to the red-roofed outlets. However, not all of the marketing campaign was a success, as you'll see in our next entry. The Bigfoot Blimp Fiasco.
The tough blimp!
It's no secret that Pizza Hut dumped millions of dollars into its advertising budget when Little Caesars and others declared war in the early 90s. But not all of these advertising dollars went toward great campaigns. It's rumored that Pizza Hut paid over $4 million for this next tragedy, and when you see how it all ended up, it may leave some scratching their heads. The Bigfoot Blimp was a giant hot air vehicle that featured the Pizza Hut logo on it, which also advertised the titular pizza. It seemed like a novel idea, but some were taking notice. I mean, how can you ignore your cravings for pizza when there's a literal giant blimp sent from the pizza overlords flying above you? Some say that this marketing ploy was responsible for an increase in sales on behalf of the company, but others beg to differ.
Agree to disagree.
Despite contrasting opinions, the debate would come to an end on July 4, 1993, when the blimp would crash into an apartment building in Manhattan in New York City during a 4th of July celebration. Luckily, no one was seriously hurt, but the company decided to steer clear of any flying forms of advertisement in the future. Domino's limps into battle with the Dominator.
Finally, a worthy opponent.
Domino's unveiled its newest creation in the form of the Dominator. It was a massive pizza like its competitors, but still held its circular shape. It was certainly the biggest of the three, but could it hold up in both taste and value? Domino's was offering this pizza for around the same price of $10, so we're all good there. But when push came to shove, people just weren't as excited about it. When you pair that with a rather careless design flaw, you have a recipe for disaster. What could be wrong with a pizza of this magnitude, you ask? Well, it's just that. It was too big. Domino's found that more and more of their drivers were complaining that they weren't able to fit the pizza into their cars.
I'm sorry, it just doesn't fit.
And as a result, they were forced to offer the menu item in-store only. This only passed the buck for a moment, as customers who came to pick up the pie found that they were having the exact same problem as the delivery fleet. There are many reasons why the Dominator failed to make its mark. Maybe people had had enough of the giant pizza wars. Maybe bigger wasn't always better. It's fair to say that this is usually the last cited incident of the pizza war, and after the Dominator, Domino's, Little Caesars, and Pizza Hut were content to let their products speak for themselves. Thank the pizza war for stuffed crust.
Is Pizza Hut stuffed crust the greatest stuff in the world?
While oftentimes nothing good can come of war like this, sometimes there are a few innovations that come about as a result. During Pizza Hut's marketing craze, a woman named Patty Scheibmayer was appointed as a product development team member who was in charge of products like the Bigfoot. Although the gigantic pizza's time would come and go, Pizza Hut's decision to appoint Patty would lead them to arguably their biggest claim to fame, stuffed crust. It was Patty who, after many years on the development team, decided to put the cheese into the crust, and as a result, one of the best pizzas of all time was created.
Stuffed crust pizza!
We can thank the pizza war of the 90s for giving Patty ample time to cut her teeth in the marketing world and discern what customers wanted most. Even though you can't find the big cheese, the Bigfoot, or the Dominator on menus today, we can take solace in the idea that these pizzas all made way for the stuffed crust version. War. What is it good for? Well, pizza, of course. In war, nobody wins.
No clear winner, huh?
Nope.
After all was said and done, these pizza companies didn't exactly shape the face of the future. Each company has had its trials and tribulations in recent years. Domino's saw heavy controversy in the 2000s and has since attempted a rebrand. Little Caesars was forced to close hundreds of locations around the turn of the century. Pizza Hut gave up on the Bigfoot and reigned in its ludicrous marketing campaigns for other menu items. While it may have been exciting for some of the smaller companies to try to make a name for themselves, in the end, it's all a tad bittersweet to know that no matter how these chains may try to nudge ahead of the competition, everyone has their personal preference.
What the heck is that?
Who puts broccoli on pizza? That's it. I'm done.
While Domino's remains ahead in the sales department, each of the three companies is content to own their own little slice of the pizza pie. We won't say that these sleeping giants will never raise another media storm like that of the 90s, but for now, there is peace in the pizza space. We'd rather come together over pizza than let it drive us apart, and there's something endearing about that. Hungry for more? Then check out another great BabbleTop video. Just tap or click. Thanks for watching.